Back here with What's the Sweep. This is episode 13. Today we've got a new guest, kind of replace Schiffer. We have Thomas, so welcome. We have Vanessa Nasser. We've also got Jonathan Jr. and of course I'm Jonathan. This week's question is, what does it take to make it into the NFL? So obviously you guys have played Madden, you know how to get into college and whatever. But what this question kind of encapsulates is more of, do you think it takes academics? Do you think it just takes athletic ability? Do you think you have to be smart? Can you get in there if you're really stupid? That kind of thing. So what kind of things do you think you need, like attributes, do you think you need to get into the NFL?
Well, one, obviously, you need physical attributes. That's one. For your position, obviously. So we'll start with physical.
Okay, so what kind of physical attributes do you think you would need?
Well,
do you need to have good hair? Do you need to have, long arms, strong beard, glasses?
For depends on the position you play. Like if you play like anywhere on the line, you need to be like a bigger guy, because for specific reasons, like you take more hits. You have to be able to go against the other big guys. So but then if you play like a receiver, for example, you have to be like kind of slimmer and like lower body fat. So that's my like definition of like physical.
Calais Campbell is something stupid like 10% body fat.
Yeah, but he's big.
But how many?
Between 10 to 15. Average body fat for a male is about 20 to 25. When you start getting from like 15 below is when you start getting proper ripped.
But he weighs like 280.
Yeah, he's like 6'7" or something stupid as well.
God damn.
There's occasional freak athletes that you come across every once in a while. Not everyone's going to be built the same.
All right, so you just talked about size. So in terms of physical attributes, you don't think you need anything else?
Yeah, you need to have good
speed.
Character. You need to be physical. My bad.
Physical. So let's go to Thomas. So Thomas said speed.
Yeah, so like you need. I mean, I guess every position is good to have speed, because especially in like combines, like if you run a fast 40, then that's going to get a lot of attention. So and then that's also going to be.
A punter and a kicker need speed.
I mean, yeah. Because even on a return, if they need to catch up to the punt return or kick return, then they need to have speed in it. So
you just mentioned the combine. Do you think they're looking at that in a kicker and a punter?
I mean, no, they're not. I mean, for a kicker and a punter, they're going to be looking at their kicking ability. But if they hear like a kicker's run like a 4-4 or 4-3, they're going to be like, wow, he's an athlete.
Well, I think there's a difference. There's a difference between like running a 40 speed and then like running on a football field. Because look at Jerry Rice. He almost ran a 4.8, and he's still best receiver ever. So I think I don't know. I don't know about combine speeds.
I'm saying like speed at a combine is going to get attention.
Do you just mean speed in general, not speed at a combine? Like you're just a fast player.
Yeah, like you need speed in the NFL. Like what does it take to make it to NFL? You need speed. I'm saying, for example, in a combine, having like running a fast 40 will get attention from coaches.
I think height also. If you're talking about that physical, definitely height up there. I think for any position really, height can be a advantage or disadvantage. Depends where you're playing, but some players can make disadvantages into advantages, or make what they're given make it work. Like Kyle Murray, for example, very small, but he makes it done.
He's not that. He's like 5'11", bro. 5'10", small.
Yeah, but for average, he's not tall for average QB.
He's tall for an average person.
Yeah, average person. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but I think also height is also quite important.
But then again, if you don't have height, then you have athletes that are short that make up for not having height, for being able to like.
I forget his name. The running back at Eagles.
Boston Scott.
No.
Miles Sanders.
No.
Darren
The tiny
Sproles.
one.
Darren Sproles.
Yeah, him. He's only like 5'7", I believe.
I think he's 5'5".
I don't think that was true. I think he's like 5'7", so he's short for like an average person, but he still like does his thing. He's been in the league for years.
But on average, running backs like shorter than most other positions.
Yeah, but most other positions you'll be looking if you're looking at line average, you're looking at probably it's like 6'4", 6'5", something ridiculous. Like receivers, you're probably looking around the same kind of thing, but you can kind of get when you get to like running back and maybe like linebacker or D tackle, you can get away with not being as tall. So like Aaron Donald is only 6 foot, which actually that's a bit short for
He looks tall.
D tackle. He's only 6 foot, so he's not like mad tall.
I think he capped in high school because I saw his high school profile. He said it was 6'2".
He's shrunk, isn't it?
Oh, man's doing scamming from then. Wow. All right. So we've talked about some of the, let's say, physical attributes, but you have only mentioned the speed, like height. What about things like dexterity? So what I mean is how far, so like for receivers, how far you can spread your fingers or flexibility, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that still gets looked into.
You sure? I only see them ever measure like QB hands.
I don't think that like a coach will be like, oh, how big are your hands? Just like randomly. But like it's good to have. Like
they're not gonna say if your hands aren't a certain size, you can't make it onto the team. Like if you can catch, if you're a receiver and you can catch the ball, it doesn't matter how big your hands are.
Like I think it puts you at an advantage.
It does.
Yeah.
If I have hands of a 5-year-old, I'm not catching a ball.
I'm saying that's like if you can catch the ball, it doesn't matter how big your hands are.
So Chris Carter, who's a Hall of Fame receiver, he teaches like having like your fingers like bend back as far as possible. And he's saying when you do that, it helps to like cushion the ball and so on. Also, it helps to increase your range of where you can catch. So if my fingers can only go here, go back to here instead of all the way there, when I'm going for like high point balls, I'm able to get just that little bit more than I would have normally.
Yeah. It's
So
like
then
one of
if I
the things
have to
that
be, so let's say flexible.
yeah, because
Can you be stiff or get
it benefits you, but like it wouldn't like a coach wouldn't judge you off that, if that makes sense. Like
I think they
wouldn't. No, like they wouldn't just look at someone and be like, "Oh, I think he has small hands." Like they wouldn't say that.
Man.
Flexibility, yeah.
No, but I think you could be judged by those type of attributes. Like, oh, let's say Kawhi Leonard. You saw Kawhi Leonard playing, and then his hands are like literally massive, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like this guy can can grab a ball, can do something with his hands, or like so you'll see some receiver with big hands, and you'd be like, okay, like this could be good for him. Yeah, literally.
XL, I think something stupid like that.
What's D-Hop? Isn't D-Hop the same?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
D-Hop's
5
like
times XL.
5 XLs and
But when them having like size 15 for hands. All right, so let's talk about mental attributes. So do you think they have to
like
have
knowledge.
You say knowledge.
Yeah, I was asking if you mean knowledge, like.
So
You need
just
to
in general, what kind of mental attributes do you think they have? So it could be maybe mental toughness. It could be
patience.
or drive, I was going to say. So what kind of things do you think they would need for that?
What we're talking like in the sport or like in general?
To make it to NFL big man. That's
Yeah,
the
but
question.
like obviously like along the way you need to go to college, isn't it? And then like that.
Yeah, so
like,
that's what I'm asking. I've generalized it. So I said, on your path to get into NFL, yeah, because you can when you're in the NFL, you've already made it. So here we're saying, how do you make it into it? So like,
Yeah, I think
college.
I think it's important for players for them to make it is to have a great mindset of I think hard work, of like teamwork, and like being open to learn. Because I feel like some players maybe they get to college and feel quite too cocky, and some coaches would look at it or some recruits be like, yeah, we don't want this guy because he doesn't look like a team player, or he doesn't look like someone we want on the team, even though he has talent because of his attitude towards the game and things like that. So I think also like it's very important to have a good attitude towards the game in general.
I think having a readiness to always know that you can improve and can always like get better is also a good attribute to have. There's no, if you just think like once you've made it, you've accomplished it, and then you just say there's nothing else I can learn. There's no point like learning anything more. Then you're not going to improve your game. There's always something you can improve, no matter like how good you are.
Yeah, you have to be coachable.
Yeah.
Learn that from Kenny.
UK Dukes. It's Mr. UK Dukes to everyone else.
So, do you think you have to be smart to get into the NFL?
Yeah.
Both book smart and like your knowledge of the game as well.
So
I think you can be. I think you should be, but not all players are as smart as you would think they are. Like,
wasn't there that one player in the NFL that has like a doctor's degree or whatever, a medicine degree?
He's a doctor part time.
Yeah,
he's an anomaly. Clearly, he's an O lineman. If I remember, can't remember what team he plays for. His name
for the Chiefs.
Sure, you know that, Jonathan, bruv. So like when you said book smart, what do you mean? Does that mean I'm able to do like the times table off my head, or am I able to recite the alphabet from A to Z, or do you mean like in terms of I've studied chemistry, but I can tell you the ins and outs of chemistry and that kind of thing?
No,
I mean I think I'm talking in regards to like before you make it. So like in college, obviously you need to football might be the main focus, but you still need to make sure you pass your course in college, because if you're failing, then you're not going to get because to get a scholarship you need to get grades as well, not just be good at football. So and if you're failing, then you're going to lose the scholarship.
So you can't get into American football without because Adam Thielen, he technically had the scholarship, but he went to college, got a daytime job, and then made it into NFL.
Yeah, but that's one player.
Kurt Warner.
I think what coach is what he's trying to say is like you don't need a scholarship to make it to the NFL. But what I'm saying is like if you like, for example, in high school, like if you don't get the grades, obviously not here because no one cares about grades here. But like in America, like if you don't get the grades, like you don't play. So like they teach that from a young age that you have to put effort and always prioritize school over football because football could be gone whenever, but you still have school to rely on.
That's why we have like figures after 3 years after retirement, most players are bankrupt.
It's like 70%, if I remember correctly, around there.
Yeah.
So, do you think these guys need things like determination, drive? I don't know. Maybe some people may say they like American football players have something wrong with them. That's why they play such a high contact sport.
Like what's wrong with them mentally? We just want to hit
Some
things.
people say like we all have like a screw loose. That's why we're playing.
You just want to hit people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also the game. I think the game's bigger than just hitting and catching a ball and scoring it in the other side. I think the game has a lot of knowledge, and that's why some teams. I think there's just a bigger picture than just hitting someone and scoring a touchdown.
Do you think memory ticks is a big thing to have?
Memory ticks?
So I don't know why I said memory tick. I think. Do you think you need to have a good memory to make it into the NFL?
Well, yeah, because like especially like when you're learning like playbooks, if you don't remember your plays, like what you're meant to do each play, then that's not going to be helpful in game. If anything, it's going to be detrimental.
So game. What about in terms of knowing how to read like a defense or offense, or like what happens out of certain formations? Do you think that would help?
Yeah.
So that would help.
Definitely.
For your memory.
Yeah. You also have to remember like what things you have to do by yourself. Like, oh, if I see this player move this way, then I know I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do this special move. So it's also good your memory. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Ooh, good.
So do you think to make it into NFL, you have to like learning?
Yeah, because you have
like
to
them.
learn playbooks. You have to learn like a lot of things when it gets to the league. It's not just like they just slap you out there and say just play football. Like there's a lot to learn.
But do you feel like he said like you have to like to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
because if
that
you
goes
don't like to learn, you won't learn.
Are you sure?
Mm.
I don't like to work out, but I still work out.
No, but that goes back to like what I said before. Like you need like if you like to learn, it's like you know that learning doesn't have to be like just academically or like plays. It could be like learning you can get better. That's still learning. It's like if you know you can get better, you're learning to get better. You have to wanna get better every moment possible.
Mm.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this, and you lot can chime in as well. So, in my opinion, one of the big like mental things you have to learn in American football is to see the bigger picture. So, unlike let's say soccer, where you can get the ball like loads of times and run around or whatever, in American football, you may be used as a decoy for ages and not touch the ball, not hit anyone, you're not blocking, whatever. And then you may get a big moment and that's it, gone. So what you have to do is like bide your time. You're not. So what you get a lot of people is like, oh, I'm the best receiver or whatever. Throw me the ball. You may not be open. Just because you're the best receiver doesn't mean you're open. Or they may know because you're the best receiver, they've got two guys on you. So now because they're down two guys, this and this person is now wide open and it's easy to throw it in. Do you think that kind of mentality is something that you have to be kind of groomed into learning, or you should just learn it by yourself and make it into just American football in general?
I feel like you have to learn that yourself because you might go from like high school being the star player on the team, getting like almost every pass, every rep to college where there's probably a lot more recruits, people that are better than you. So I guess you have to like kind of teach yourself like, okay, like I have to humble myself and see the bigger picture because I'm not getting the ball every single play, but at least my team's driving and creating chances, maybe scoring and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of self-taught. That's where you really understand the game you're playing and really like thinking in your head like, oh, okay, cool. It's not all about me now. This is like a team game. Because in college or high school, you might have could have been a star player or top prospect, but now you're in the NFL and it's much different.
Cool. Can you make it to NFL without those physical attributes that you mentioned?
Yeah, you
It
can.
would be a lot harder, but there surely is a way.
I feel like it depends a lot on the position. Like
I think
you can't really make it to the NFL as a very slow receiver, if that makes sense. Like I'm talking about like very slow.
So
Like
you
you've never seen me run.
exactly. There's a reason.
No, it's because I haven't got surgery. I don't mean I'm slow.
Yeah, that's the excuse. That's the excuse.
Like I don't see that happening. Or as like a skinny like D tackle. Like you just wouldn't really like I don't see it happening. So I feel like it depends on like the position. If you're at the wrong position but you have the physical attributes, then that's like your talent like wasted.
but I think also like if you're gonna take out all the attributes, I don't think you can make it. I think if you have I don't think you need all the attributes to make it, but you would need like a partial side of the attributes to make it. Like for example, you might not be physically good, but you're really good mentally. Like you understand how to play the game, you know how to run plays, or you might not be mentally good, but you're a good physical player. So I think it goes both ways, kind of.
Like, look at Tom Brady. Like he isn't fast. He isn't like strong or big, but he's mentally knows the game and knows how to play it. That's why he's been in the league so long. Like he didn't have all the attributes that you named that you might need physically to make it, and he's still now the GOAT.
So what about someone like Sean McVay? Hasn't got the physical attributes, still in the NFL.
I mean,
when you look at like Tom
Sean
Brady,
McVay.
yeah, when you
The LA Rams coach. Actually, are they still LA?
I was about to say, like, he's not an NFL player. He's a
He's
coach.
in the NFL, isn't he?
yeah, but like that's yeah. I mean, I guess
I just said the NFL. I didn't say what in the NFL, did I? Because
Yeah, but then he has knowledge.
to make it to the NFL.
But then he has knowledge, or he has drive. He has something to bring him there.
So this is something I think a lot of people don't take into consideration. It's like, I can only get into NFL if I found my player. So I need to run a 4.4. I need to bench 600 pounds, which is ridiculous. Not everyone's got the physical attributes to do, but what you can do is teach yourself knowledge. What you can do is teach yourself how to coach. You can make yourself, like you said, to Vanessa, coachable. So find a mentor, find someone who can help you to build other ways. So you can make it as a coach, because I think just to make it into NFL as a coach is ridiculously hard as well. So the UK has a coach. You have Aidan Dirty, who's now with, who's he with? It's gone off the top of my mind, but he said
Phoebe coached the Bills.
Yeah, so he was at Atlanta Falcons as the linebacker coach, and he just got offered, I think he's with the Bills as a defensive line coach. But then you have like someone like Sean McVay, who's the youngest head coach I think of all time, and he's not even 40, is he? He's like early 30s or something crazy like that. So that shows the kind of like determination. So he's still got the same attributes as the players in terms of I need drive, I need to be coachable, I need to strive for greatness. I may not be the person that gets all the shine, but I've still made it to NFL. I'm still making decent money. Well, more than decent money, that kind of thing. So do you think, let's say, for the journey of a coach, do you think it's just as tumultuous as a player?
Yeah, that does make sense because, like you said, Sean McVay, he's probably younger than some players on his team. So, like, it just shows, even though he's not an athlete, I know he used to play football in high school, I think. But, like, if he could, if he still played, he could be an NFL player, but his knowledge is what is, like, helping him. Even though, like, it has nothing to do with him physically. Like, his knowledge, like, he took his team to the Super Bowl. Like, he's the youngest Super Bowl coach ever. So it just shows that, like, sometimes it's not all physical. It's more like mindset. And, yeah.
What about if you want to be a referee?
All you have to know is, you will get paid by Brady and Rodgers.
Just throw flags whenever you feel like it.
And just whenever you see anything,
I said the Flake and all that.
Anything that you don't like,
ref goes. Like, how do
If
you
the ball
become
feels
a
like
ref?
it has a little bit less air when you're playing against Tom Brady, just don't say anything about it. Just play. Just keep playing.
Wow.
Do you have to go to like ref school?
Isn't it?
I don't think that's a real thing.
Isn't it a refereeing course?
Yeah, that refereeing courses that you apply for. Most of the NFL, as far as I'm aware, most of the NFL refs, they've had some kind of playing career in terms of like college. Quite a few have played in the NFL. Obviously, that's why they got sort of strong arms, just flinging them things all around.
Did they get taught how to do it? Like how to throw the flag?
Who the hell's going to teach? Who are you going to pay just to teach how to fling a bit of cloth? And if you do that, you deserve to be scammed. To be honest,
my phone's about to die.
As well, because it can be a great benefit for you. Because I know some players get to colleges through a lot of contacts. They say, "Oh, I know a few contacts. My dad has contacts with his coach or stuff like that." And they get to college, and then from college, maybe they can do some more, or they just played well in college and got into the NFL. So I think context is a maybe lucky way, basically. If you got contacts, then you do.
Sometimes having contacts can be better than can be more beneficial than having ability or skill, because it's a lot easier to get your name out there and a lot easier to get more opportunities that you might not otherwise have been seen or heard of if you didn't have those contacts.
Do you think that also puts a bit more pressure on people?
What do you mean?
How you mean?
So, for instance, Jerry Rice's son didn't make it into the NFL. I think he went CFL. But obviously, he's like Madison said earlier, Jerry Rice is got as the best player of all time.
Receiver.
So, do you think having people knowing who his dad is put a lot of pressure on him just to make it into the NFL?
Yeah, it does. Because like if your dad was like that, then you can be
Good
like
one.
that too. But sometimes it's not always like that. Everyone's different.
All right, in today's society, how much do you think your social media presence contributes into you making it into the NFL?
You need to know how to carry yourself on social media. You can't just be saying what's on your mind all the time, because there's certain things you can say that can get you in the wrong situations that you don't want to be in.
See now, recently, I think that's a new factor, something you wouldn't consider like a couple years before, because now people are getting cancelled because of what they said like a while ago, and then recruits wouldn't look at you because of what you said, or could be offensive, or could go against the guidelines and stuff like that. So I think you have to be careful nowadays what you do say or what you post on social media.
So with what happened with Destroying, where I can't remember what college he went to, but the college made him choose between YouTube and his scholarship, and he chose YouTube, and he wasn't able to carry on. Do you think things like that in the future may change?
Yeah, because I think the only reason why he couldn't do YouTube because he was getting I think it's because of the income.
He was getting money for it.
Yeah, so in the future, I think next year or 2022, 2022, the rules meant to change that athletes can actually make money, make a profit, while in college. So I think that will change in the next few years, because I've seen a lot more college athletes making YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I don't know how it's changed now, but in the future it will change for sure.
So do you think that would be a benefit?
Yeah, players will definitely benefit off it, because it's like they could make an income while educating and showing other players that aspire to play in college, like how the life of a college athlete is.
Yeah, do you have something to say there, Jonathan, mate?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that now we have Juju bouncing Corvette.
Isn't he big on TikTok or something?
Yeah,
He's
still
just
make money.
doing
TikTok now.
You can still make money off there.
Yeah, you make money off TikTok.
I'm too old for all of this stuff. I don't care about any of that. It's good that you got blown up with that stupid Corvette dancing, bruv.
Why are you hating on TikTok?
It's dry, bruv. All you man doing all these dumb dances.
That's because you can't do them.
Okay, let me see you do one, fam. Let me see you. I know you're going to be doing Savage as well, bro. You're going to be doing the Savage dance.
Hey, yo.
Whoa. You should do one of the TikTok for the new TikTok page.
I'm not involved. I'm not involved.
Do the cry.
All right, we'll wrap things up here. Thank you to my guests, Thomas, Banderson, and Jonathan. We'll see you guys in the next episode.